Mobiles here on Radio 4MW's Brekkie Boat, and of course, great to be keeping Youpla company once again. Now, everyone has a device these days, and whether it's a mobile phone, an iPad, a laptop, and even children, even really young kids are exposed to screens and technology all the time. Now, screen time can be part of a healthy lifestyle for children when it's balanced with other activities, but that isn't always easy to achieve. Now, Derek McCormack is the director of the Raising Children Network, Australia's parenting website, and he's here today to talk about some of the pros and cons of screens and technology for kids. And some families can build screen time into family life in a way that suits Yumi. Welcome, Derek, and great to have you back on Radio 4MW this morning.
It's great to be back, and it's nice to talk with you again.
So, Derek, can you tell us a bit about what the evidence says, about screen time?
Yeah, so a little bit like you said just earlier, the evidence and the research really does support the idea that screens are a normal part of life, and for kids of all ages and parents, they can be beneficial as long as things are balanced across different activities, screen and non-screen. So the time that your child spends watching TV or using computers or gaming consoles, smartphones, tablets, all of these things can be part of a normal, a healthy, balanced life. But it's important to balance those things with other things like getting outside, physical play, of course, being creative, with or without screens, reading and socializing with friends. Again, with or without screens, these are important things for a healthy lifestyle overall.
What are some ways families can help their school-age children to balance screen time and other activities?
Some things that families can do are very helpful. For example, having some clear family rules about the use of screens is a good idea. And when children are part of setting the rules, or they agree and they help think of the rules, then they're really more likely to stick to those rules. So, a simple rule might be, for your family, you might decide, we will not have screens after 7 p.m. or in the morning time at the weekend, or we will have one day a week where we don't play with screens on that day or on a holiday. So a rule can be come up with the family's input and the children's input, and then it's more likely to stick. The other thing that can help is to think about screen time as sessions, and you can aim for short sessions with your child, knowing that, yep, we're going to have screen time for this time now, and we'll know when it's ending, and we'll do a reminder that it's ending. So everything's very clear. I think things go a bit off track when children and parents don't really have clear ideas and clear rules. So that's really the main tip. And of course, the last thing is to remember to balance the activities with other healthy activities like getting outside and taking a swim or going for a walk, and just being active in ways that aren't about sitting down.
I'm speaking with Derek McCormack, the director of the Raising Children Network. Derek, when children or teenagers are using screens, what are some of the ways they can actually get the most out of it?
That's a great question. How do you get the most from the screen time? Two things really help with this. One is to think about and talk with your child, your teenager about this. What is the quality of what we're doing with the screen? How good is the content? If it's and we're watching content or consuming something using the screen, how good is it? Talk about that and talk about how some things are better quality than other things. And the other thing that you can help your child get the most out of screen time is to role model it. They can watch what you do with screens and learn from that. And role modeling can start with, sharing screen time with your teen or your child, or just letting them see how you use your screen. You'll stop using it to finish a conversation, or you'll perhaps role model for them times when you don't have your screen close by, where you at the dinner table, for example. So thinking about the quality is really important, and thinking about how you can role model. And just on that quality piece, it's one good way to remember this tip is, what are we using the screen for, and what things tend to be better quality than other things? That's a good conversation starter for you and your child.
Derek, what would be some of the signs that there might be a problem with a child having a bit too much screen time?
Okay, yeah. Look, one good way to think about this is to have a sort of checklist in your mind. And this is something that we do have on Raising Children Network as well, if people would like to look there. But as an example, here's a checklist, Is my child sleeping enough? Are they physically healthy? Are they getting out and about? How are things going at school? Are they engaged with school? Are they engaged with friends, whether that's on or offline? Are they connecting up with friends? Do they have a variety of hobbies and interests? So are they mixing it up with a few different things? And do they do something physical each day? So these are all questions, And if the answer to these questions is yes, they are engaged at school, they do have connections with friends, sleep is going well enough, and they're physically active. If the answer is yes to these things, then things are probably okay. Things are probably balanced well. But if the answer is no to a number of these things, then you might be looking at a situation where the screen is too much a main thing for that child, and they might need to get some rules and routines in place to balance things out.
So how would parents and other family members role model good screen time, or how do they go about doing shared screen time with their children?
Well, one way to start is to find things that you both enjoy that involve screens, and then you're sharing that time. Maybe it's a TV show, maybe it's a movie time, and you can talk with each other or play a game together, and you can talk with each other while you're doing it. And that's actually quite a good way to build your relationship, and it also gives you a chance to role model. So you're sharing the time. And then the other thing is to agree with your child that you yourself have your own rules around use of the screen. So you have, phone-free time each day, and they see you do that. They see you wait to finish a conversation before checking their phone. They see, how you behave with the phone, and they see you using the phone or the other screens in really positive ways, like staying in touch with family, like FaceTiming grandma, or having the phone really help you do positive things like connecting with others. And as your child or teenager see that day to day, they will pick up on the habits that you have too, and that role modeling will stick with them for a long time.
Derek, anything else you'd like to say in regards to screen time, and especially with our children?
Really, I'd finish by saying it's a good idea to have the chat with the whole family. How do we use screens? Do we all enjoy them? And what are our rules or routines? It doesn't have to be very formal, but to have the chat about how we're using screens in the family and get ideas on the table. Because the more input the family have into the rules or rituals, then the more they'll stick with them.
Mm-hmm. Derek McCormack, the Director for Raising Children's Network, thank you for your time today, and we look forward to catching up with you again, Derek.
I look forward to it too. Thanks, and have a great day.